He's rocking you all the way down to the sole of your boogity shoes. You're keeping the faith with Lee Marshall and his class reunion show on your home for that good old rock and roll. 1450, The Boomer.
Thanks so much, Wendy. 4 minutes till 8 o'clock, and now flirting with 80 degrees already at the beaches. Upper 80s inland later on. I know, a hot one. Middle 80s at the Big Blue later on. Upper 90s flirting with 100 degrees. Triple digits certainly in some of the valleys. Degree or two less warm tomorrow. And then on Sunday, much cooler, like 7, 8, 9 degrees cooler on Sunday. Now, I've been telling you for a long time that I'm a disc jockey, honey. What about you?
Sharper than the fins on a 59 Eldo. We're your home for that good old rock and roll. The Boomer.
1 minute after 8 o'clock all over the California coast, children. I'm Lee Marshall. You can try, but you can't catch me, Chuck Berry.
I know you're digging the good old rock and roll on The Boomer.
I'm gone like a cool breeze. Chuck Berry on The Boomer. It's 3.5 minutes after 8 o'clock, 8:03, and that will be the day, buddy.
More fun than ditching first period algebra. We're your home for that good old rock and roll. The Boomer.
That'll be the day.
Don't really have that upper range, huh?
That'll be the day.
1450, The Boomer remembers when you wanted to wear number 7 because Mickey Mantle wore number 7. This is your home for that good old rock and roll. 1450, The Boomer.
And thanks, everybody, for all the kind phone calls. Some people heard it for the first time this morning, and, this is my retirement show. I'd announced it on the air over a week ago, and then just, kind of let it slide. Announced it to the staff, about a month ago. Now, I've actually tried to retire before. It didn't work out. Just couldn't keep me away from radio. Let me tell you about it. And just take a couple of minutes, this being my last show and everything. So I'd retired and was living in Malibu at the time. And just kind of sitting on the patio and, doing voiceover work. I mean, I wasn't totally retired, nor do I intend to stay totally retired this time. I'll still do Tony the Tiger and do all my voiceover stuff and putting together some weekend shows we're going to have here on The Boomer, by the way. We're going to put together some cruise and oldie shows, so we'll do that, soon. But anyway, all those years ago, I'm sitting at the beach and listening to the radio and just complaining. I mean, I was a genuine crybaby. Oh, gosh, radio is just so bad. Radio is just so bad. No creativity, no personalities, no spontaneity. I started in the business. You had to be at least a little entertaining, a little bit engaging, as opposed to, reading a bunch of liners and stuff that were written for you by somebody else. So my wife, my lovely Judy, says, well, you should probably think about going back on the radio. Jeepers, I don't know. And within that week, I got a call from a very old friend of mine, the man who's worked in this area of Southern California for many years, Mark Elliott. He said, let's have dinner. I said, okay, why not? So Mark and I go to dinner. He says, I want you to meet Miles Sexton. Okay. Who's Miles? Oh, he's the general manager of, these radio stations. So I met Miles, and, we talked. So what would you like to do? I said, Miles, you've got this one format in place, and you can't just, really throw a switch. Let's kind of, gradually ease our way into a format that I've had in my head for like 25 years, which was the Boomer format. It's the radio station I always wanted to do. Always wanted to do. Well, never really had the opportunity because I was always, working for a living. So I came here to KVEN, flipped it over into the Boomer format. And thanks to Miracle Miles Sexton for that. And we've been rocking and rolling ever since, right? Well, just some wonderful people that I've had the chance to work with here. Miles certainly, and my friend Rick Cavanero, who's up in Oregon. You know, he was one of the driving forces here. And, my very good friends, Ernie Bingham and Shannon Ellis and Mark Spellman. One of my dearest friends, for whom I've been a friend a lot longer than I was an employee, and that's Gail Ferrillo. My original co-host, my sitcom co-host, Kari Michelson. Remember Kari? She's doing well, by the way. My embraceable sidekick for so many years, Cindy Ovalle. The friends that I've made at the other Cumulus stations, John Cowsill and Charlie Parker at KHAY, just some of the best, finest people. Dave Bradley over at B95, KBBY. The amazing Bo Jackson. And of course here, the brown beauty on duty, Jay Perez. You know, Jay was working at KBBY and, wasn't real happy. And it was all right. Went to the management and said, I want this guy on my radio station. I can make him an oldies disc jockey. He's got everything that he needs. And boy, does he ever. Commander Alexander, Scott, hired him years ago and then had the chance to hire him again. Two guys I really want to single out and allow me to do this. I'm probably droning on, but then again, it's my show and it's my last show. The bosses of Cumulus. Excuse me. The two big bosses, the Dickey brothers, John Dickey and Lou Dickey. First of all, for allowing me to do it. And I had some conditions. What a wise guy, what an arrogant SOB. But I had some conditions to doing it. I know that Cumulus is, what has now become what they say corporate radio, although Cumulus is so much more familial than corporate. Part of my deal was, you've got to leave me alone. You've got to trust me. I'm not going to get on the phone with weekly conference calls. I don't want anybody calling me while I'm on the air. I don't want anybody calling my disc jockeys while they're on the air. You've got to leave me 100% alone. And to John and Lou Dickey, to this very moment, have upheld their end of the deal. And I thank them very, very much for that. Because I think we did some pretty fun radio, right? Yeah, we did. Now, you're still going to hear my voice on the air. I'm going to be like, you'll hear in between songs and what they call the image voice. And then, let me have a couple of days off. Let me let this whole retirement thing sink in. And then I'm going to start putting together some cruising oldies shows for the weekends. Now, I can't give you an exact date on when we're going to do that because, I just need to kind of decompress a little bit. And then we'll do our cruising oldie shows and all the East LA cruising classics, and we'll have all that on the weekends. The Boomer's still going to rock and roll, So thanks for allowing me the time to do this. Do appreciate it. It's 13 and a half minutes after 8 o'clock.
Sharper than the crease in your new pair of Robert Hall slacks. We're your home for that good old rock and roll, the Boomer.
Thank you so very kindly, Wendy, and our congratulations to Ken Anderson of Simi Valley. Of all the kind folks that qualify for the Cabo San Lucas vacation, Ken Anderson is our winner. And thanks again to everybody who took part in the great Cabo San Lucas getaway. Upper 70s now. No, I'm not talking about like Woodland Hills or Simi Valley. I'm talking about the beaches. I know. It's already mid to upper 80s in many of the inland areas. Later on today, mid 80s at the beaches, upper 90s, flirting with 100 degrees in a lot of the inland areas, certainly into the triple digits in the valley areas. Not quite as warm tomorrow, maybe a degree or two less warm. And then it's going to really start to cool down nicely on Sunday. It's 8:17 at the Boomer.
You're listening to America's premier doo-wop and vintage rock and roll station, the Boomer.
The heart and soul
rock and roll, the Boomer. Thanks so much, Wendy.
Say, kids, what time is it?
Well, it is just about 8:26, and that means it's puppy time. And I am so pleased that on my last show here at the Boomer, I get to help Mary find a home for a dog. It's been one of the things I enjoy most. Everybody knows I'm a big dog lover, and like you, Mary, nothing warms the cockles more than finding homes for these great dogs.
It's so true. And Lee, let me tell you that this last year has been an absolute pleasure. I am so sorry you're leaving. I can't tell you, but life continues, doesn't it? And
Yes, it does.
You move on to other projects. And there's an old saying that good things come in little packages, but there are better things that come in bigger packages, and that would be Rascal.
Oh, isn't he great?
And this Rascal was a wanderer. He was found in the streets by a very nice lady. She took him to Animal Rag, giving the owners an opportunity to find him, and sadly, no one came looking for him.
Oh.
So she rescued him a second time. If at first you don't succeed, you try again.
Yep.
And so she brought him to us. And Rascal is a handsome fellow. And you know something? He is not a member of a gang, as in Gasoline Alley. Wasn't there a little rascal in Gasoline Alley?
absolutely, sure.
That band of scallywags?
Yes.
Well, this guy is very handsome. I think he's probably between a year and a half or two.
He is so wonderful. What an attentive guy he is. Look at him.
He is, and he's a medium size. He's short-haired,
Yep.
and he's basically white with these big splotches of warm caramel, and then the warm caramel speckling.
Yeah.
His head is all that warm caramel, and Rascal is a riddle. You and I both have tried to suss out what he is.
He's got some working dog in him. He's got,
I think he does.
He's got a little wrinkle in his forehead like a mastiff. I recognize that right away. But he's certainly not that big. Rascal's probably
Right.
60 pounds maybe.
Right. But he's truly a mystery. But, as far as we know, because we've not had him for a long time, he's good with other dogs. And, of course, he's always up for adventure.
Yeah.
And, Lee, we are facing some hard times. Jobs are evaporating, prices are rising, salaries aren't, and that just ramps up the stress. And there's nothing better than coming home to a wiggling body and a wagging tail and soulful eyes that tell you that you are the center of their universe. Canine companions live to be with us through good times and bad, whether you're happy or sad. You cannot find a better stress reducer.
Now, people can see Rascal and all the pets for adoption this weekend, tomorrow and Sunday, at the Canine Adoption League location right behind Pet Barn in Ventura.
That's right on the corner of Main and Telegraph, and on Saturday we're there from 11 till 4, on Sunday 12 to 4, and our phone number is 652-1001. And come and see Rascal.
Oh, yeah.
He'll steal your heart.
You're going to leave with him, believe me. Mary, it has been, believe me, a great, great pleasure to have you and all these wonderful animals. Thank you so much.
Well, you have helped us find so many. So if all of them that we found homes for were here, they would give you big, wet, warm kisses.
And I'd be here to let them.
That's right. And they would have bathed you from top to bottom.
Oh, boy. How will I explain that when I get home to my dogs? Mary, thank you so very kindly, and see you over the weekend. I'll drop by.
Take care. Thank you, Lee.
Thanks, Mary.
1450 The Boomer remembers when the bag boy at the grocery store asked if you wanted paper or double paper. This is your home for that good old rock and roll. 1450 The Boomer.
Oh, look at that sweet soul music. Arthur Cottonley on the Boomer. 25 minutes till 9. It's 8:35. Oh, I'm sure hoping light and polite. Getaway Friday. Well, certainly in more ways than one for me. Let's get the latest on the Friday Drive with Wendy Sinclair. Hi, Wendy.
1450 The Boomer remembers when you had to get up from your chair to change the channel, and you had to get out of your car to open the garage. This is your home for that good old rock and roll. 1450 The Boomer.
Thank you so much, Wendy. That was very nice. The whole sales staff came in and sang to me. It's a good thing they know how to sell. One of the guys that was here when I first got here, and back with us again, Remember the single greatest sports authority in all of Ventura County history, Barry Turnbull. Hey, Bear.
Lee, hello.
Hi.
And I just
Use that microphone. Use that. Yeah. There you go.
I just wanted to come in and say, like somebody have said, thank you.
No, thank you for everything.
I was here. I was the one, actually, I think, who did a newscast right before the format changed.
I think that's right.
On the day that we changed the format.
Yep.
And it's been just a great ride for the Boomer for all these years. And as you say, it will continue. And
Oh,
we'll
sure.
Still hear
Yeah.
you and all that
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, it's going to continue.
But I just wanted to come in and say congratulations
Thanks.
for putting this radio station together. Thank you.
Yeah, my
And
pleasure.
And it was my pleasure to be a part of it.
And mine to have you in my life, Barry, and Kathleen as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. And happy birthday! Happy birthday!
That's right. And happy
Yeah.
happy birthday to my cousin,
Yeah.
Brian Wilson.
Yeah.
Leader of the Beach Boys.
Barry's cousin, the Wilson brothers, and it's also Brian Wilson's birthday. So happy birthday to Barry and to Brian.
He's 66 years old today.
I know.
I'm 14 years younger. Do the math.
Yeah, good. Commander Alexander. I was saying.
Wait a minute, hold it.
one of the
You're
guys that-
leaving?
yeah.
Why am I always the last to know around
you're
here?
Not either. You're not either. Yeah.
I'm getting pictures,
What fun.
just
Well,
enjoying
we've had
the-
fun over the years.
Oh, absolutely.
A number of
How-
different places, yeah.
Yeah, a number of different places. And, I'm sure there will be a future somewhere, somehow.
Well, I'm not really
day.
going. I mean, I'm going, but I'm not going,
Through the magic of.
Yeah, through the magic of, and we'll put together some weekend cruising shows, and, and still keep my hand in.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Hey, Lee, I don't know if a lot of folks know this, but, when you're out, when you're playing
Yeah.
the music and whatnot, and there's a long song, maybe 3-minute long song.
Right.
You can do all kinds of stuff in 3 minutes.
Oh, absolutely.
As a disc jockey. You just
Yeah.
learn that 3 minutes is an eternity, and you
Golly.
can go ahead and pretty much, detail your car during that time if you'd like to.
Yeah, I raised a family on 3-minute songs.
Well, you go out and usually have yourself a stogie.
Yeah.
Well, it's your last day, and I wanted. This is the kind of stogie you want to have.
Oh, my word.
Yeah, there you go, my friend.
Thank you, Commander.
That you'll enjoy.
Oh, thank you so
American
much.
Pie length of
Yeah,
cigar.
yeah, exactly. That's more than a 3-minute stogie.
El Presidente, I think, right there.
Thank you so much, Commander.
Yeah, you're a dictator of a small country, I think, with that. Well, thank you very much,
Oh,
Lee.
thank you.
you for all the opportunities, and thank you
Oh,
very much
please.
for putting together the Boomer.
My
because
great pleasure.
it's a dream come true.
As I keep telling people, it's the best fun I always had all day. It was coming back on the radio. I don't know what it was really like to work for a living, I guess.
Heaven forbid.
Yeah. I wish Jay were here.
He hasn't shown up yet?
No.
He's probably, his alarm clock's probably going off.
Oh, you
right
think
now.
so?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because isn't he going to be coming in early now? He gets the early shift?
Yeah, Jay will be here in the mornings. Yeah.
So. Yeah, he's
See how he likes that.
yeah, he's enjoying his last day to sleep in.
Yeah, everybody wants to do mornings, right, Commander?
Until you have to get up.
Yeah.
And don't forget, we still have Dodger baseball. They won 3, count them 3 in a row.
3 in a row. Yeah.
Unfortunately, they can't play Cincinnati anymore. But
Yeah, they're on tonight. Yeah, Barry working the game. So, yeah, it's been very, very cool. It all started. Give everybody the Reader's Digest, story. When I was a little kid, I just somehow was fascinated by rock and roll music. Thanks in great part to my dad, who was a great music lover, and he just thought it was the coolest thing he'd ever heard, which made him really kind of a novelty for the day. And I just really dug it, and would go out, as I think everybody knows, when I was a kid, to El Monte and get to see all the shows and meet all those people. But when I was a preteen, I used to hang around the old KFWB studios because I lived in Hollywood and went to Gardner Elementary School, and I could ride my bike to KFWB and would hang out with a guy who's been a friend of mine since I was 10, and that's Gary Owens. Mm-hmm. One of the single biggest influences on me was Gary and the late Gene Weed and all the great disc jockeys.
Was your voice like this at 10? That's what I want to know.
No, but I really decided then I wanted to be on the radio, and there was no way I was going to, get a job in an LA radio station. Then my family kind of played a practical joke on me, and we moved to Phoenix. and I was able to connive my way, literally lied my way into a job. I was 14 years old. I told them I was 18 and had experience in Hawaii. And I said that because I didn't think they'd spend the money to call.
Exactly. Long distance at that time.
Yeah. I mean, they probably knew. And I literally rode my bike to the radio station and hid it. So nobody could see that, I was riding a bike and not,
A car.
driving a car. And, had just some incredible influences. People that were giants in the industry who, maybe people haven't heard of. Pat McMahon in Phoenix and Don Pietro, Johnny Rabbit. And, then I kind of, roamed around. I didn't do the whole disc jockey roaming around thing too much. Went from Phoenix to San Diego for a very short period of time where, worked with, truly some legendary guys for the first time. Bobby Ocean, who I worked with later on. And just wonderful guys. Then went to KHJ in the late 60s with just a legendary staff.
Well, explain what KHJ was, though. At that moment in time, they were the stick.
Yeah, we were the stick.
It was the radio station that all the 13-year-olds listened to.
Yes, if there's one thing about radio, is you can never talk smack about anybody.
Yeah, that's right.
You're listening.
Word.
Wait a minute, hold it.
Duty on duty.
Every word. I heard every word.
Yeah. So,
Let me do this.
yeah, right.
This.
That. Right. Oh, you do. Okay. All right. Go ahead.
Right
Okay.
there.
KHJ was radio.
Yeah, it was. It was.
To listen for the music.
That was one of those
yeah.
things where literally during the heyday of KHJ, which I got to be a part of, you could drive from North San Diego County to Lompoc, and that's all you'd hear. And it was Robert W. Morgan in the morning and
Robert W. Morgan. God have him in peace.
Yep. Charlie Tuna, Sam Riddle, Bill
real
Wade,
Don Steele.
the real Don Steele in the
Don
afternoon, followed by Humble Harv, followed by me, followed by Johnny Williams, and then I moved into 6 to 9 later on, and it was great.
In the making, man.
It was great. Then then RKO pulled not a practical joke because I really wanted to become a program director. I was still very young. So they were going to try an experiment. They figured, well, if it failed, it'll be all right if the kid fails. And they sent me back east. There was already an established radio station, CKLW in Detroit, which was just this monster station. Covered 28 states and 6 Canadian provinces. But they had a station in New York. An FM station, WOR-FM, 111 Broadway, New York City. Coolest studio. Sitting in the studio looking down on Broadway in Manhattan, if you can imagine that. And the job that they gave me to do, and he said it would be okay if I failed, was turn WOR-FM into the very first top 40 FM station in the country.
Wow.
We did that. It was cool. It was cool.
Those were the days.
Yeah. Left there.
Those were the days.
They promised to bring me back to L.A. They didn't do it as quickly as I wanted. So I said, well, then I'm out of here. Fine. And was hired at what was known then as the world's most dangerous radio station, which was really kind of a refuge for every outlaw that was on the air. So that's where I actually got to work for years with Wolfman Jack. And, he was, I've said this on the air, the portion of the American Graffiti movie where the kid says, when I grow up, I want to be the Wolfman. That was me. I wanted to be the Wolfman.
Yeah.
So what a thrill that was to actually work with Wolfman Jack for those years at K-Day. And then RKO apparently saw the error of their ways, asked me to come back. So I came back to KHJ, and it was just about that time that I met my wife, Judy, 30 years ago. That's how long we've been together. Over 30 years. So she was working in Phoenix. My sister lived in Phoenix. My mom and my sister, who still live in Phoenix. And I went over to visit. And my sister said, there's somebody I want you to meet. I said, fine. And it was Judy was working for my sister, Jerry. And I met her and immediately fell in love with her, of course. Well, not immediately. The truth is, not immediately. Because, you know, my sister's a meddling Yenta-ish kind of woman. Turns out Judy had to come to L.A. He said, well, my brother, he'll take care of it. He'll. Oh, so now I've got the responsibility of squiring this woman all around. And she really didn't know anything about me other than I was, you know, this radio television personality. And she could have cared less. Which is pretty much the position she's maintained for 30 years.
She's the one that keeps you back,
absolutely.
back to earth
absolutely.
here.
Absolutely. Oh, yeah. Yeah. You know, there was nothing I could ever do on the air, on radio, TV, anywhere that would, impress, my wife or my kids. Get a real job.
Exactly. There you go. Get a real job.
Yeah. So, we'd be in the company of some people, and, Judy and I, and they'd turn to her and go, are you in the business? And she'd always go, yes. So, oh, I thought you were talking about the aerospace business. So for 30 years, she's been there. She's been there. Left KHJ, decided I was going to reinvent myself in talk radio, news and talk, and went to KABC, which was, that was like the talk station at the time. And spent almost a dozen years partnered with the amazing steamer Bud Ferrillo, doing all the Dodger stuff and all the sports stuff, and
Dodger Confidential,
all
Dodger
of it,
Insider, Dodger,
all of that.
Dodger Sleep, Dodger,
Yeah.
everything Dodger.
Yeah.
But Ferrillo, Angel's Notebook, I think, wasn't he? Also?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Worked with the legendary Ken Minyard and Bob Arthur and Michael Jackson, the talk show host, not the
Yeah.
Mike Kelly and his wonderful wife Jamie, who I saw very recently, and that was great. That was great. And, kind of on, and decided I was going to sit on the beach and retire, and then they came and got me.
And then here you are.
Then they came and got me.
Did you ever meet Superfan? Ed
Oh
Bueller?
yeah, sure. Ed Bueller. Yeah, I met Ed. A very interesting guy.
He was arrested when he was number one in the market.
Yeah. Well, Ed had a trucking company. Apparently, bookkeeping was not Ed's best thing.
It's got to be some sort of record.
Yeah, I think so. So that kind of takes us up to today. We signed this thing on January 1st, 2001, I think, right? And Jay came over very, very quickly, and Commander shortly thereafter, and we've just been rocking and rolling
What
for
a
years.
ride.
How
The
many
varsity team.
Boy, the varsity.
The varsity team.
How many concerts? How many sock hops? How many things? I mean,
The Second Chance Prom, wasn't that wonderful?
that was one of the greatest things.
The
Yeah.
performing arts center, the tribute to the Hurricane Harbor people.
Oh yeah, I was talking about that earlier
Hurricane,
when we did the bash for the Bayou.
The Bash for the Bayou, that's right.
The Katrina
That's
Relief
right.
Show for the Red Cross.
That's
That was amazing.
All the great
Just
bands,
amazing.
all the great cars.
Oh yeah, well, we'll still be out there cruising,
Oh, yeah, that's true.
And
Still
I'm just
be.
proud to have been part of the first day and the first year.
That's it.
And back again.
Barry is part of the Cornerstone and back again.
That's true.
Yeah.
And thank you for that opportunity.
Oh,
by the way.
please, my pleasure. So I try to do a little math. Well, how many shows have you done? Over 12,000. So I'm ready.
You know what, too? If I can just say this real quick,
Yeah.
and because you guys were mentioning about me in the morning,
Yeah.
This is a legend, and in order to, when a legend retires, you pretty much have to bring on another legend.
Yeah.
Probably go in a different direction.
Yeah.
In which case, we just might very well still going to play your True Blue Oldies throughout the day.
Absolutely.
But I'll get the pleasure in the morning of bringing on another legend.
Yep.
Like I got the pleasure to work with this legend.
Oh,
right here.
thank you so much, Bud.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I think it's appropriate, in that we've done this so often, and really one of the cornerstones of the sound of the Boomers, our East LA Cruising Classics, is one of the all-times. Sonny and the Sunlighters and Talk to Me.
Oh, more fun than TP in the principal's house. We're your home for that good old rock and roll. The Boomers.
Sonny and the Sunlighters. Oh, honey, talk to me. It's 8:53 at your home for that good old rock and roll. 1450 The Boomer. Thanks, everybody, for all the kind phone calls. That is so very, very nice of you. Oh, I love this song. One of the greatest instrumentals ever recorded. I know, Mike Hammer. Harlem Nocturne, the Viscounts on the Boomer.
He's rocking you all the way down to the sole of your boogity shoes. You're keeping the faith with Lee Marshall at his class reunion show. On your home for that good old rock and roll. 1450, The Boomer.
Couple of minutes before 9 o'clock. And this is it, children. I intend to go out as I came in. Not a lot of fanfare. No, they didn't have big parties for me or celebrations when I first went on the air some 12,000 shows ago. When we first signed on the Boomer, my boss then, Miles, so what's going to be the very first song you play? Well, I thought about it. I actually had to think about it a couple of days because we were actually kicking off the Boomer. And I decided that the first song we would play on the Boomer would be Rock and Roll Music by Chuck Berry, and so it was. And then a couple of days ago, it occurred to me that I was going to have to come up with a song to play as my last song. Well, warm up the Thunderbird, Peggy Sue, because I am out of here, and this is dedicated to you.
Dedicated to you.